Speaking of countries who are doing great things, if you're somebody with a lot of capital right now, this is what I would be doing. If I had, if I was older and I had more ability to invest in things, I would be strongly considering an investment in El Salvador, whatever that looks like. Going down there, taking a couple weeks, picking out some real estate, making relationships there. I'm considering that myself, honestly, and I don't have a whole lot of capital to be dishing out. But El Salvador right now, I think that is such an hidden gem to the world. Bitcoiners, we know what's going on there, but for the most part, they're planting a seed there, and it's going to grow into one of the greatest countries in the next couple decades. And so you can get real estate there. You can start investing in businesses there and people and creating businesses, setting up corporations in El Salvador right now. That's going to go exponential over these next couple decades. So let's take a look at this. Not only is El Salvador mining Bitcoin with their volcano, but they just passed a vote in El Salvador. 54 votes to 0. Passed a law to open the agency for the implementation of nuclear energy program in El Salvador. Nuclear and volcano-powered Bitcoin mining incoming. So let's watch this video. I'm not going to put on the sound might be on, but there's really no sound. She's got a Starbucks mug there, or a Starbucks cup of coffee. That means that El Salvador's booming right now. And when there's a Starbucks cup of coffee there, El Salvador is doing pretty well. So a couple things here. I mean, they got their volcano. Now they passed a law that they're going to start the nuclear implementation. 54 to 0. That was the votes. 54 to 0. Do you remember a time when there was any vote even close to that in Canada or in the US? There's so much division here in the West. I mean, El Salvador, I guess, would be a little bit south of us, but in North America here, there's so much division. Every vote in Congress and Parliament, it's like every liberal votes the same way, every NDP votes the same way, every conservative votes the same way. It doesn't matter what the subject is. They're all voting the same way, and it's always like a 150 to 151. So you have half. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You can tell that El Salvador is moving in the right direction because they're all focused on a common goal, and they're moving in that direction. They're not fighting each other. They're finding the best option for their citizens and for their country, and they're moving in that direction. They're not fighting over it. They're using logic like nuclear power. I mean, I'm no expert on energy. I'm not. I don't claim to be. But I will say that since I've become a Bitcoiner, my interest and my knowledge of energy has increased substantially. Still a dummy in the subject, but I really didn't care about energy. I didn't care where it came from. The lights turned on, the toilets flushed. Who cares where it came from? But once you understand that energy is what makes the world grow and stay alive, and we actually need carbon and energy, they're assets to the world. The more energy we have, the more we can advance as a civilization. Then you understand how important this stuff is. And I think that nuclear power is probably the most underrated and underappreciated, underutilized form of energy that's going to power the future. So El Salvador is leading the way in that direction. 54 to 0 vote. Incredible. So big shout out to El Salvador for that. And good news for the citizens there.